Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Everything Kratom, the podcast about anything and everything Kratom. Great to have you with us on this Thursday morning. Just thinking today, as I was drinking my morning tea, about tea. And I was like, it's a good episode. Let's talk about that. So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about tea. Tea, I think, is my second favorite way of taking Kratom. Actually, it's my favorite way of taking Kratom, but I do it the second most. The first, the main way I take it is toss and wash. Toss and wash. It is too early, everybody. Toss and wash. I do toss and wash, but it's a bit inconvenient, especially when, in public places. So, I like tea. Tea is great. If you can just bring a cup with you, especially or a thermos. Thermoses brew so much better. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so let's start off with teas in general. I like tea. I've always liked tea. Tea warms you up. Tea is good. And I especially like tea with a lot of theanine in it. L-theanine. Is it theanine? I've said theanine. L-theanine. And, like green tea has a lot of L-theanine in it. Black tea has some. So I like to have black tea, and I like to have that with my Kratom. And, I have mixed it before. I've had black tea and then mixed Kratom in with it, but I don't like that. I don't really want to ruin the taste of the black tea. And it doesn't really seem to make Kratom that much more palatable to me. So I like to just kind of make more of a concentrated form of Kratom tea and drink that, and then go to my black tea. But anyway, so going to Kratom, there are specific ones that work well for me when I'm mixing them with hot water, and certain ones that don't. And I've always found that interesting, and I'd be interested to hear if anybody else has found that to be the case as well. But I've found that having a green-white Thai blend of Kratom powder, putting 2 grams of it in a cup, filling that up with some hot water, not all the way. I don't want to drink Kratom tea. That's the other thing. I don't want to drink Kratom tea, sipping on it for an hour or anything, or even 10 minutes. I kind of want it to be one and done. So I'll put in, maybe half a cup of hot water. And I'll stir that around and let it sit for a few minutes. And then I will do one of two things. I'll either start sipping the water and get through it fairly quickly, and then kind of just drink as much as I can of the sludge at the bottom. Or the second thing, which I do more often, is, I let it sit in there for a little while, stir it a couple times. Then when I'm about to actually drink the hot water with Kratom on the bottom, I stir it really fast, and then that gets all the little particulates of the powder in there whirling around, and then I drink it in a few gulps. By that time it's cooled down just enough where I don't have to sip it, and I'll take it down in a few gulps. There's a little bit of residue on the side of the cup, but not much, and I'll pour a little bit of the black tea in there just to get that off maybe. But then from then on I just start sipping my black tea, and I found that seems to be the best effect for myself, at least. So pour the hot water in over 2 grams of green and white blended Thai Kratom, and let it sit for a few minutes, swirl it around really fast and stir it, and then drink that down pretty quick. And then after that, sip on some black tea. That is my favorite thing to do. Now, I know that some people don't mind drinking the tea. It's not that I don't mind it, it's just the effects work better for me if I drink it down pretty quick. I could drink it over the course of 5 minutes, and it probably wouldn't be too much different. But I found that if I take 15 minutes to drink it, the effects aren't really as pronounced. They still come on, but I don't really want, I want to take it all at once. So I'll do that. But I have done a brewed tea, and this is where the thermos comes in. I've taken that same combo, or a red Kratom, maybe red Thai, put that in a thermos or something that holds heat well, pour in some hot water, stir it around for a bit, let it sit, And then that really brews it like strong. You don't even need to put as much in. And think about all the surface area that the hot water is hitting in terms of the powder. My goodness, surface area up the hoo-ha. So it really gets strong quick. I find that I don't need to put in as much as I normally do with the other method. And so then I'll just kind of sip on that for a bit. I do that. I'll do that in the evening because that gets me ready for bed. And, sipping on that, I usually don't even make it through the whole drink. Like by the time I'm like 3/4 the way done with it, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for sleep now. So that's kind of my nighttime routine with a red tea if I'm trying to do tea. But during the day, what I really like to do is that first option. But I do like the tea. I've never had Kratom in a tea bag. And, recently I've been seeing websites with tea bags that you can get. I've never done that. Anybody else ever done that? Sure, it works pretty similarly. It keeps all the stuff, or most of it, out of the actual drink. So I guess that's a plus for some people. I've never really minded taking Kratom in terms of the powder, so I don't mind it. The taste doesn't bother me. But yeah. So tea is really good. But here's the interesting thing. I've tried to take Indo White, for instance, taking Indo White and making a little tea out of it. And it just did not work for me. Like, I've tried it a few times. I feel a little bit of the effects. Like, I feel it start to come on a little bit. And I've tried both ways, mind you. I've tried sipping on it, and then I've also tried gulping it down. And it just doesn't have the same impact on me as just taking a few, or a couple of grams of Indo White in my hand, tossing it and washing it really quick. It just doesn't do it for me, doing the tea. But I have tried it. I've tried mixing Kratom into teas and haven't noticed any difference in terms of the end result, other than the fact that it doesn't make my tea taste as good, like the black tea or green tea or whatever. But have tried that. But overall, the first method I mentioned is my favorite. And I'll do that usually kind of second half of the day, maybe like mid-afternoon. It's a nice pick-me-up and gets me going again, helps me continue on with the day. Lasts a while. I think it lasts longer than normal, just toss and wash method. And yeah, that's really helpful for me. So I like that. Kind of while we're on the topics of, how people take Kratom, capsules I'm not a big fan of. They work, but I only use them if I'm traveling or something. Capsules I'm not a big fan of. I much rather just toss and wash it. So that's just me. I wonder how much of it's placebo, in terms of or just me psyching myself out, because if I do it a different method, I feel like it always affects me a little bit less. But maybe that's just because I'm used to the action. So maybe that's addiction behavior. Who knows? but don't need it every day. So there you go. Anyway, folks, be interested to hear about your tea combos. I've never really gotten creative with it, but I've heard of a lot of interesting ideas. Someone recently was telling me about pumpkin spice latte Kratom tea, or pumpkin Kratom tea, and them taking a pumpkin chai tea and then mixing Kratom in it, or putting Kratom in the tea bag and putting cinnamon sticks and cloves. Oh my goodness, that. Life goals, I'm telling you what, that sounds amazing. And it's seasonal. For anybody who cares. So that sounds great. Might even try that sometime one of these days. But in the meantime, I'm a pretty simple guy, nice and straightforward. Just give me the powder and lo and behold, I will enjoy it. But yeah, tell me about any interesting or creative combos you've made in the past. Feel free to support this channel through a donation. Wow, that's not the way to ask for a donation. Never mind. Don't donate to this channel. Make me get better at doing podcasts before you give me a donation. It's okay. This is a hobby anyway. But if you want to support this channel, feel free to reach out. Even just a few cents would be greatly appreciated and would motion to me that I'm doing something that's appreciated. So, Yeah, but anyway, either way, thanks so much for listening, everybody. This one was a bit discombobulated, but I had tea on my mind, and it's my show. So have a great day. Enjoy your pumpkin spice kratom lattes, and talk to you tomorrow. See you guys. Bye.